statement, then we'll open up for questions. If you want to raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you before you ask your question.
Well, I'm really proud of the way we came out and played today. I think we were very efficient offensively. Obviously, when you're able to stay balanced like that, Jake was very accurate with the football. We ran the ball extremely well. I thought that we were just very efficient offensively. Defensively, didn't give up anything big. So had some silly penalties that we'll need to get cleaned up, obviously, moving forward. That were extremely disappointing and certainly need to finish better defensively. When you have more depth, more quality depth on your team, you're able to play more guys, but they need to play well when they get in there. Some don't understand why they're not playing much now. So, pleased with the win. Some disappointed with some of the penalty issues we had. That's not been an issue for us, and it won't start being. So that's something we'll address moving forward. Other than that, pretty pleased. Injury-wise, I think we're fine. Dennis just sprained his ankle. I think he's going to be fine. And Casey could have gone back in the game. I held him. So I think we'll be good there, and I open up for any questions.
Raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you, David, first.
Well, with the tempo of the offense, did you guys go as fast as you could today, or was that like a 50%, 75% throughout the game mostly?
I think, Dave, what you're going to see is times when we're going really fast, and there's going to be some times that we're taking a look and see what we're getting. And so I think it's going to be a game-by-game operation from what, Brian and I have talked about as far as administering the offense. And there's times that we feel like we're being very effective going fast with it, we will.
Well, you mentioned the penalties. Is that a byproduct of just the adrenaline of opening day, or just not being there all mentally at times?
Well, I just think, sometimes, we want to be a violent, composed team. And composure is a big part of being a good team because you don't have self-inflicted wounds. We had a couple self-inflicted issues today that won't be tolerated, and we'll move forward.
With regards to the Harvey penalty there, is there any way that the conference office can review that or anything, or is he definitely out for the first half next week?
No, he'll be out the first half next week.
And also just of young guys, was there any particular young guys that stood out to you?
He's right off the top of my head. I have to watch the tape first. We were a little sloppy there defensively. I thought our second offensive line went in there and performed well. And I thought that we created some holes and got a hat on a hat and didn't bust any protections. And I thought we did some nice things as far as that. That would jump off the page at me. Rendricus Davis, to have him get back in and play well for us, a guy that's been frustrated with injuries. What a heck of a catch he made in the back of the end zone. It was a really nice throw by Mike. I think there were some positives of guys that maybe, I don't know, you'd say young, but haven't played as much. That, when you have the opportunity to play those guys, there's nothing better teaching moments than playing in live game situations. And so we've got a lot of teachable moments from today.
Over here to the right, Tom.
You guys had a pretty solid day in the run game. Just what do you see out of that, and what really pleased you in terms of the ground game today?
Well, we were getting a nice surge up front, which we should have. So at the end of the day, the competition picks up next week. We need to continue to improve.
Go back to the mic. Back left.
How happy were you for Debo? Obviously, you went through a lot this past offseason, and going back to last season gives you guys a lot. But just as a person, I'm sure you're just thrilled to see what he's able to do.
To see what the frustrating situation the young man faced last year and battling back and just going through all the things he's been through. I've been with him every step of the way, and it's been a very frustrating time. And it's hard to sometimes as a parent or a coach to say, hey, it's going to be better. They get tired of hearing that after a while. And so you need results. And so today we provided results, and he had a big smile on his face at the end of the game, and I'm extremely happy for him, and he deserves it.
Well, how did you like Donnell's snaps today? It seemed like maybe there were a few that were floating there. Are you okay with that? Or?
Well, I think, again, that was something I noticed during the game. We'll discuss that moving forward. I think that's certainly a topic of discussion.
Go back to the mic.
Well, was the plan to use Rico that much, and what did you see from him today that you really liked?
I thought he ran really well. He got the ball vertical. He got it north and south. He got some tough yards. He got yards after contact. I thought he ran extremely well today. I think that was the Rico we're used to seeing, and the guy's strained his butt off in the offseason. He's accepted every challenge that we've thrown at him, and I was excited to see him run the football today.
What was it like to get Bryson back in after all the time he missed, and how do you kind of feel he performed his first game back?
Well, I think leadership, number one, a guy that's going to play extremely hard, number two, and he gives us some edge presence in the pass rush. There's no doubt about that. Just no different than Debo, no different than Casey Crosby. Three seniors that really lost most of their season last year to injuries. And to get those three guys back makes a difference for us. But really proud of Bryson. There's no doubt that the effort that he plays with, we have a standard here of effort, and he certainly falls into that category of a guy that's a leader in that standpoint.
Go to the middle of the room, Jen.
You guys had 8 tackles for loss today. Is that a good number? Do you go into a game with a number of how many plays you like to see behind the line of scrimmage?
Now, John, we don't really go into we're just trying to stay ahead of the sticks. And so I don't know what number that would be. I've never looked at it that way. Maybe that we should. I think it's a good question. But we always I'm just talking in terms, in my mind, and the conversations I have with T-Rob on the headsets, are we staying ahead in the sticks? If we need to give them more bad snaps, we need an opportunity for more bad snaps. Most of the yards we gave up was at the end, which was frustrating. But we'll go back and look at it. And certainly when we're ahead of the sticks, we can be an effective team.
Well, you mentioned during camp you guys didn't really get the heat you needed. It was a hot one out there today. How do you think the guys handled it?
We did not have one IV. So that says a lot about Jeff Dillman, and it's been 3 years in a row. You look at, up in Charlotte last year in our first year in Nashville, no IVs, nobody struggling with cramps. Again, we didn't have to play 60 minutes necessarily with a starting group, so that'll be different next week. So we understand that, but I think that's a testament to our strength staff and the job that they do, and our players. Our players work extremely hard, and we practice hard here. That's part of who we are. We're a blue-collar outfit. That's what we're going to be. So our guys understand that part of it, understand our work ethic and how we're going to approach things. So we did not have a lot of hot days. It was hot there today. I was down there. I was looking for shade. I couldn't find any.
Headsets worked all day, too?
The headsets worked all day. It was a heck of a deal. Yeah. Everybody's employed.
Coach, I just wanted you to comment on Tyson Williams' performance today and just like what you thought of the running game in general.
I thought Tyson, again, averaged right at 8 yards a carry. I mean, ran the ball extremely well, got the ball north and south. And that's really, we're looking at a little more outside stretch in our offense. And, that really goes back a lot to the runner because the defense can hit in so many different gaps when you talk in terms of a stretch play. And offensive line is just trying to run and create surge, which we created some really nice surges today. But there's not a definite hole on an outside stretch. You got to have a running back that's got some instincts that can put his foot in the ground and get north-south. And I thought I saw A.J., Tyson, and Rico all today do that.
We've seen the offense come along since you got here 3 years ago, but to be able to get that confidence, to be able to score a touchdown at the end of the first half, what kind of confidence do you have in this offense now moving forward?
Well, there was never any question into the first half what we were going to do because of the experience of our quarterback being at home, experience of our skilled people outside in our offensive line. Put the ball in the guy's hands and let him play. And that's all, to me, is all a situational, deal before the half, or how aggressive you want to be. We're going to be aggressive with Jake.
Well, over here. 2 parts. J.C. Horn, what'd you think of the way he handled his first career start?
Really well. I thought that he was calm. He's a very mature young man. And what I mean by that is not from a standpoint of, there's a time that to me as a coach, the young players struggle the most of when to focus and when to relax. And he's a guy that understands when to focus. And when we're in the meeting rooms, he's dialed in. When we're in the walkthroughs, he's dialed in. When we're at practice, he understands those things. And that's the hardest for some young players. They have a hard time sustaining the amount of time that you need to focus and dial in to the things that we do. He's a very mature player from that standpoint, and God's blessed him with a lot of ability.
And I know you said a lot of the young guys need to keep coming along, but for first game of the season, you played over a dozen young players. Just what was it like to get that experience, that on-game?
Well, there's no question. I mean, we put guys in the game to execute and play at a high standard. We have a standard around here going into our 3rd season, and I told them before we left the hotel today, if you get your opportunity to step between the white lines, there's a standard. So understand that, and the big eye in the sky don't lie. We're going to watch it all.
Well, in regards to DJ's injury, do you expect him back for the Georgia game? What's the plan going forward this week?
Based on the information I have, he's going to be fine.
JC out to corner and putting Jemias at nickel, was that just part of your rotation to get a lot of guys in, or did you see something there that made
We
that
like
change?
JC's length outside. We like Jam's ability in the slot as a blitzer and a cover guy as well. Right now we feel really good about three corners, Rashad, JC, and Keyshawn Nixon. And to be able to get JC the amount of reps there, we need to play him at corner. And Jam's a really good nickel for us. And we consider Jam a starter. He's a guy at safety and a guy at nickel that can then go in the game and play extremely well.
Well, a little bit of news on Javon yesterday. Will he be allowed to come back to the team while he's finishing his PTI stuff?
I haven't had a chance to sit down and talk to Javon, so I'll probably do that in the coming days. And I need to sit down with Coach Tanner, and we'll get a plan moving forward.
Anything else for Coach? Heath, Helen.
Ryan calling plays. What were your thoughts on just what you saw from him and just the flow of everything with the offense?
The numbers look pretty good to me. So, no, I thought that, again, we went out and, played. We're very efficient offensively. That to me was the thing that you would go back and look at. We were very effective in the run game. We busted a production on the third down on the running back that should have picked up the blitzer, and we would have been fine. We had a guy open down the field. So I didn't see a lot of negative procedural issues, issues with not functioning well as an offense. We didn't have those.
That was on the sack you were referring to.
Yeah, sack. It's on the running back. It wasn't on the offensive line. You guys like bringing the offensive line. It's on the running back.
Get Will Tommy in on kickoffs. Was that just the start of kind of pulling guys with a big lead, or
No, but Will's got a really good leg. He's a guy that really proved himself in practice. He's earned the opportunity. We were trying to take some things off Parker as far as kicking field goals as well. We gave him an opportunity. He did a really nice job to the last one.
Anything else for Coach?
On a side note, Clark Cox got a game ball. Because the field was phenomenal, because we had a plan. We're going to have a concert every year. Coach Tanner, you good with that?